Welcome back, friends and family. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today we're checking out two different snare top mics. Now we have the classic Shure SM57 and we're going to compare it with the really interesting Shure Beta 87A. So check out this quick comparison idea of what they sound like in a mix. So both these microphones are placed side by side as close as they can be, and their capsules are at the very same distance from the center of the snare. They are both maybe an inch from the edge of the rim and roughly an inch in height from the head. So a few quick facts about each mic before we start. Of course, the SM57 is a dynamic microphone and it's cardioid, whereas the Beta 87A is a condenser microphone with the super cardioid polar pattern. So both of these microphones are running through the A-Design Pacifica preamp with zero gain and a pad because the signal is strong, and then it's going straight to our DAW. Without further ado, let's actually put them to the test and see how they sound. So what you just heard is the dry signal of the SM57 and the Beta 87A independently. There's no processing on the signal. Only on my submics do I have a limiter with a minus 0.1 dB ceiling and a minus 4.5 dB threshold, so there's no gain reduction, it's only to get some gain for playback purposes. Now, I have a snare bottom mic, an SM57 as well. Let's see how they blend together with the top mics respectively. Now, perhaps to assist our listening, I brought up an EQ. This is the FabFilter Pro Q2. And once again, there's zero processing on this. This is the dry signal running through this EQ just so we can see that curve to see what kind of frequencies are triggered, picked up with each hit. Straight away, we can tell that in the 87A, there is more amplitude in the low end, in the 50 Hertz. We can also see in the 200 to 500 Hertz range that there seem to be more prominent peaks. And also towards the higher frequencies, the 87A goes up to what we see on our graph, the 20K, whereas the SM57 rather drops around 15. And that makes sense because the frequency response of the SM57 is 40 Hertz to 15 kilohertz, whereas the 87A is 50 Hertz to 20 kilohertz. One more point is that the SM57 does seem to have more of a peak around the 1.5 kilohertz range, which explains where it would get more of that snap sound. So in this next example, we're going to integrate a beat. Now, try and take note of how much the other elements are picked up in the recording. We're going to now have kick, floor tom, and hi-hats, but we're still recording the dry signal of the snare top mic that we're listening to. Have a listen. As you probably noticed, the hi-hat is much more present in the recording on the 87A. This makes sense since that microphone's frequency response goes up to 20K, so the higher frequencies are captured and are more prominent. So we're going to keep building up on our example on our beats, and I'm going to integrate the recordings of all the other microphones. So We're still gonna keep the independent snare top mic with the snare bottom. There are a pair of overheads, the Shure SM57. We have a Beta 91 on the kick and a Sennheiser MD421 on the floor. So with all that information, clearly both of these microphones are great. It's really gonna depend on what kind of sound you're looking for, what you wanna achieve with that sound, what kind of context it's gonna be in a mix, what your taste is, maybe it depends on the genre. I mean, there's so many variables, right? With the information I provided, I'm sharing what I know and where I'm at with recording drums, so I hope this is useful to you. If you have any questions, if something wasn't clear, if I forgot something, or if you have something to suggest, please let me know, comment below. I would really appreciate the love and the subscribe, hit that one, and stick around. I hope to see you soon.